Good morning. It is Monday morning. My name is Mark Dunn. I'm an effectiveness speaker. And the idea of me coming here with you at this moment is to talk about the fact of staying focused. Staying focused is more relative today to do than it has ever been in humankind. And the reason why focus is so much more important now is because when we look at focus, we also want to look at balancing out the importance of how we use or leverage our time, leverage our money, leverage our physical, mental, and emotional health and spiritual health in order to maximize our opportunities to ensure not so much a good quality of life, but to ensure a great quality of life that for some people can be something where it can be job optional. For some, it could be just extreme happiness of being able to work within their passion. For others, it could be in that just being able to quit an addiction, or even better, get over a loss or a disappointment or a challenge that they may have faced in their lifetime. And in the essence of life, what we have to realize and come to grips with is that our focus is going to become tested in times when a death happens of a loved one, a separation or a divorce, a diagnosis of an illness, a terminal illness, job loss, physical health changes. All these things take on a whole new meaning. And the reason why they take on a whole new meaning is because each person has a way of coping with life that is different, even though we go through the same process. But it all comes down to our wiring of our thoughts, our psychology, and how we think. Because 80% of anything in life that we do is based upon how we think. And 20% is based on what we do or the actions we take. And if we are in a position to understand our psychology, we will understand how to leverage our psychology for not just a better quality of life, but how we choose to associate ourselves with certain individuals, how we choose to talk to people, how we choose to engage, how we choose to help people, how we choose to support people. This can be in a family setting, your best friends, or even associates. And when we look at how we go about living our life in that way of using focus as our main objective here, when we look at that, what we're trying to say to ourselves is, no matter what comes our way, because life is going to come, which means those challenges are going to come, we have the capabilities of not being emotional beings to the point that it impacts us mentally, but we can become rational in a state of pain. We can be rational in a state of pain where, let's say as an example, we lose a loved one. And from losing that loved one, do we focus so much on the fact that we were cheated out of our relationship, we missed out on something, we didn't do enough? Or do we say to ourselves, we have these great moments of knowing that this person lived their life to the fullest, regardless of when they passed, if it was in their 20s, 30s, 40s, or 50s. What is it that I can draw on to help inspire me to live my life to the fullest, knowing that my loved one was dealing with something that I didn't have to deal with, or they had to leave the earth at this point in time? It was their time. What is it that I'm going to do in my time? And if you're able to look at life in a way of appreciating you as a person, you will appreciate the lives of those that might need to transcend early or transcend later in your life from this world. You might need to deal with the fact that, you know what, I'm going through a separation or a divorce, or my relationship isn't the best right now. How can I make it better? We might need to go through a diagnosis of an illness that will change our psychology and change our way of life. But then after it changes us, are we emotional to the point that we can't think clearly? Or are we emotional, or are we rational where we can think clearly and come up with other objectives and ways to live a healthier way of life with this illness? Not just through medication, but maybe we might need to change our diet. We might need to change our activity level. We might need to associate with individuals who may have recovered from it, or who are living a quality of life that you can really admire and know that there is hope. So we all have this opportunity to focus, and we need to hone that in. So I challenge everybody in the beginning of this week, on this day, to look at your focus. What does your focus look like right now? Where do you see yourself going? And how do you see yourself dealing with the realities of life when it hits you? Because it's going to happen to me. It's going to happen to everybody. It's just a matter of how we choose to do it. And I tend to play games with myself sometimes. I think on the lines of what would happen if I lost my parents today. What would that feel like? What would that be like? Because if I can play tricks with myself now, in those times, I can learn how to live life in a way that is not based on losing them or feeling that I'm losing them, but more of what did I gain from them in the years that they were here for me. And I look at it playing a game that way for myself to help me cope and to focus and to know that I have to keep on keeping on for the best interest of knowing that they didn't waste their investment in me when they could have done something else with their life. So it's time for us to look at focus. It's time for us to start being more focused on ourselves. It's time for us not to wait for a season of change to say we're going to be focused. We don't need to wait for the fall, September, the school year, the Christmas, New Year's resolutions. We don't need to wait for spring. We can do it right now. We can do it in this moment. This is your moment. You got to figure out, do you want to be focused in your moment right now and build on it? Or do you want to wait for an event to change you and to force you to be focused? It's up to you.